The GBNews Tavern has been declared open. It's time for Talking Pints. I'm joined by Jamie Baulch, athlete, or I suppose former athlete, really, but cheers.
Cheers, thank you. That's right, and drink this, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess as an athlete, life's pretty tough in terms of what you can do with your social life, isn't it?
Exactly. Well, you know, I used to be trained by Colin Jackson, so he was a serious taskmaster, so no Guinness for me. No Guinness for me. No Guinness for me.
Now, Jamie, you were adopted, and we'll come back to that, and you grew up in Risca.
That's right, yeah.
In South Wales.
Yeah.
Not a bad place to grow up.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. It was just such a great rural, almost, environment. Yeah. Very nice, chilled out. My parents had a big farmhouse, so I did a lot of running around that when I was a kid. I got 2 sisters and 1 brother, and it was a magical childhood, yeah.
I think South Wales is underestimated.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of it that's fabulous.
Yeah.
Property's reasonably priced compared to the southeast of London and all the rest of it. And a great place to grow up. And, of course, I guess rugby was the sport you were encouraged to play.
Oh, yeah, undoubtedly. You know, rugby is still on everyone's lips in that country. So, yeah, I grew up watching it. My dad shouting at the TV, you know, willing Wales to win, and especially in the 70s. And, yeah, so I got into that when I first started and absolutely loved it.
So you will be supporting Wales this weekend?
Oh, obviously, yes. Yes, obviously. I was born in England, which I shouldn't have said, but I was born in England. But I'm definitely Welsh, and I've got red blood, so I'm definitely Welsh.
Absolutely. Now, what is it with the young Jamie that makes him decide? I mean, were you good at all sports?
Yeah, I was actually. I was one of those kids which was really annoying in school. You know, give me a ball, give me a tennis ball, swim, run, hockey, cycle, whatever it was. The only sport I was useless at is football. Which is extraordinary. I don't know. Even now, I just
think of the money you could have made.
I know. My dad's like, come on, son, you'll do it. Yeah.
But it was athletics. That was what the love. And at what age do you decide, this is it, I'm going to go for it?
Well, I started when I was 11 years old, doing the sport in sports day, winning sports day, running twice as fast as every kid in the whole school. And my headmaster, Mr. Atkins, unfortunately he's passed away now, he said, you should join the running club. That's what started me. But when I knew I was going to sort of get to that next level was when I was about 17. Got to the World Juniors with Darren Campbell, who went on to win an Olympic gold medal, and came 4th in the 200 metres behind Darren Campbell and Atul Bolden, and we won the relay 4x100. So I started off doing sort of different.
I'm going to ask you, how does somebody who's running in 100 suddenly become really rather good at 400?
Well, it was a bit of an accident, to be honest with you.
They're very different skills, aren't they?
Totally. One's a Ferrari and one's a 4x4 Jeep. You know, what you've got to have a lot of engine room to be a 400 metre runner. And I did it by accident. I was doing a British League many moons ago now, a long time ago, and a guy called Adrian Thomas, who was a British coach, he said, if you run really well in this race, in this relay race, in Cardiff, nobody watching, we'll consider you to run for Britain in the European Champs. I pretty much ran one of the fastest legs that year in the country, and from that moment on, they were like, ooh, we'll enter you in some 400 metre running races, and that was it, really.
And you went on, Jamie, you won a bucket full of medals in a whole, and of course an Olympic silver that you got in '96 in Atlanta, but you won all sorts of medals and awards and everything else. And I mean, what was the highlight of your career?
I would say it's two, really. It's never a one-off. Like winning the World Championships in 1999, you know, being adopted, to ring my father that day and say, Dad, your son is world champion. That was a nice moment in my life, a personal moment. But Olympics, you know, being on the rostrum with those 4 boys.
It's got to be pretty cool.
Olympics is the one.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty cool. Now, there was something in you, Jamie, and this is interesting. You know, some people who are adopted say, that's fine, great, I'm happy with life. Yeah. Others say, yes, I'm happy with life, but I need to find out. Yeah. And your desire to find out your natural birth parentage led to a couple of BBC documentaries. I mean, you really opened your soul up to the world doing this. Quite a risky thing to do, wasn't it?
It was, and it weren't that long ago. It was in the last, 6-7 years I did it. And the reason I did it is I've got children now. In fact, I'm a granddad now. You know, I can't believe I'm a granddad, which I love, by the way. But when you have 2 kids and you don't really know your heritage, and you suddenly realise, hang on, I'm getting older, and you just want to know a little bit more, and you suddenly go, ooh, you know, I've had an amazing upbringing. Everyone who knows my mum and dad, my brother, sister, we've got a real tight family. My mum and dad are still around, which is amazing. But I just want to know. I didn't want to be, you know, on my deathbed or, you know, having a gravestone.
So
and
you
not
wanted to know, but you thought I'll bring a BBC camera with me on the journey. You know?
Yeah, well, yeah, that was a bit full on. That was very full on.
But you did find.
I did find my mother.
Your birth mother.
Yeah, I found my mum, and that was really interesting. Lovely lady. We had some really special moments. Unfortunately, she had cancer when I met her. She was only due to have 6 months to live, but she lived for another 2 years. So we really got to know each other. And she's great. She was great. But in saying that, I was still really happy to be raised by my mum and dad.
Yeah.
You know,
and you tried to find
my father. Yeah,
and that didn't
pan out. We didn't find him. We thought we had a couple of leads, but it just didn't happen. Met somebody who I thought could be my dad, but he's not him.
I'm guessing, Jamie, for some people, this must be quite a risky journey.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, it's very risky. I mean, you know, you hear of some horror stories where, you know, you could have the door slammed in your face, the husband doesn't know, you know, it's so that you've got siblings, you know, it's some really, you know, if anyone's going to do it, go down the professional channel, which I did. Yes, I did it on TV, but I went through all the right connections, went through the right regimes, and that was the best thing for me.
Now, you've developed this into charitable work, and you've got some pretty strong views about the number of kids in care in this country today.
Yeah.
But it's become quite difficult to adopt, hasn't it?
Yeah, you know, it's all this red tape, you know. You think now it would be easier than what it was back in the 70s. I mean, I'm a mixed race kid, and my mum and dad are white, and they could just adopt me quite comfortably back then. But now it's far more red tape, and, you know, there's so many kids in homes, and the longer they're in homes, the more difficult they're hard to
So the race issue comes into adoptions?
Oh, big time, yeah. Yeah. You know, in all, not just race, but all different...
And this is the tick boxes, rather than worry about the welfare of the kid.
Yeah. You know, and if you don't meet that criteria, then you're not going to be a parent, you know, to that adopted child, which is needed. You know, and it's urgent need of adoption, you know. If it wasn't for my mum and dad, I definitely wouldn't be an Olympic silver medalist, and I definitely wouldn't be a world champion. Like, I know it's because of them why I am who I am.
You seem very content in life.
Oh, extremely.
But your running's not that good. Because you try to run against a horse. And we're going to show our TV viewers, Jamie Baulch decided he'd try and do Jesse Owens.
Let me finish this.
Famously ran against a horse. Let's see how Jamie Baulch got on running against a horse.
Oh, gosh.
I don't...
Stand by. And they're racing. And Jamie is he's about 10 lengths in front here, but rocketing home, Peebles Brook, and goes to the line in a canter. So a very easy winner as horse beats man here at Kempton Park.
I thought it was only going to be a couple of people down there. That horse was a horse called Peebles Brook, who had won everything. You know what I mean? He was like a proper thoroughbred. And I got there, it was like 3,000 people. So I was like, it was on TV.
Well,
I was thinking, thank you very much.
Jamie Baulch, I want to say to you, congratulations on a hugely successful career.
Cheers.
On being as happy with life as you are. And all I can say, and honestly, and I mean this, is please keep publicising the fact there are too many kids in homes when there are plenty of good families out there that would love to adopt them. And I think you're a very valuable and important role model in that. I thank you for coming on Talking Pints.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.